Let's talk about something you've probably been seeing everywhere lately. Exosomes, TikTok, Reddit, YouTube, Vogue, your favorite skincare account. Someone in a Facebook group swearing it changed their skin forever. And somewhere in the middle of all of that, you're probably thinking one of two things. Either, this sounds incredible, and I need it immediately. Or, this sounds like the kind of thing that costs a lot and does nothing. Both reactions are completely reasonable, and honestly, both reactions are partially right, which is why we're having this conversation today. By the way, welcome. This is Dr. Lazuk's avatar from Lazuk Aesthetics in Alpharetta, Georgia. 20 plus years of dermatology thinking, no waiting room, no magazines from 2009, just the information you actually need. So, exosomes. Here's the part nobody explains properly. Most skincare works on your cells from the outside. A retinol knocks on the door. Vitamin C blocks a specific pathway. A peptide mimics a signal at the surface. All of these are legitimate. All of these produce real results, but they're all working from the outside in. Exosomes work differently. They don't knock on the door. They walk through it. Here's what's actually happening biologically. Your cells are constantly communicating with each other, not through words, obviously, but through tiny packages they release called exosomes. These packages travel between cells carrying biological instructions, growth factors, repair signals, anti-inflammatory messages, genetic material that tells the receiving cell exactly what to do next. Think of it like this. Imagine your skin cells are a construction crew. They know how to build. They know how to repair, but sometimes the crew foreman goes quiet and work slows down and things start to fall behind schedule. Exosomes are the message from headquarters, the complete instruction manual, delivered directly to the crew, not shouted through a window, handed over in person. That's the mechanism. And once you understand it, the excitement makes sense. Now here's where it gets important. Because the science is real, the mechanism is real, but not every application of exosomes is created equal. And this is the part that gets glossed over in most of the content you're seeing. There are two very different contexts where exosomes show up in skincare right now. The first is post-procedure, after microneedling, after laser resurfacing, after any treatment that temporarily opens the skin barrier and creates a repair state. In that context, the evidence is strong. The skin is already signaling for repair. The channels created by microneedling give exosomes direct access to the deeper tissue layers where collagen actually gets built. The cells are primed and ready to receive the message. And when they do, healing is faster. Inflammation resolves more quickly. And collagen production is meaningfully enhanced. That's not hype. That's peer-reviewed research. The second context is your bathroom shelf. A serum, a jar, a dropper bottle with exosomes listed somewhere on the ingredient deck. And here's where honesty matters more than enthusiasm. Your skin barrier, when it's intact, is extraordinarily good at keeping things out. That's literally its job. And exosomes, at 30 to 150 nanometers, are large enough that penetrating an intact barrier is genuinely limited. Not impossible, but limited. So the serum on your shelf might be doing something, or it might be doing very little. And without knowing the source of the exosomes, the concentration, the stability of the formulation, it is genuinely impossible to tell from the outside. Which brings us to the questions nobody is asking loudly enough. Where did these exosomes come from? The source matters enormously. Exosomes derived from mesenchymal stem cells, which are the repair-specialized cells found in bone marrow and connective tissue, carry a cargo profile specifically designed for tissue healing. Growth factors, anti-inflammatory signals, collagen-stimulating messengers. That's the source with the strongest clinical evidence. Plant-derived exosomes exist too. They're cheaper, they're easier to put in a consumer product, and they carry a completely different cargo with a completely different evidence base. Not worthless, but not the same thing. Not even close to the same thing. And yet, the marketing often sounds identical. How many particles are actually in this product? Clinical research uses concentrations in the billions of particles per milliliter. Most consumer products don't disclose their concentration at all, which means you have no way of knowing whether what you're applying is a meaningful biological dose or the skincare equivalent of homeopathy. How are they preserved? Exosomes are biologically active. They degrade. Temperature changes affect them. Light affects them. Time affects them. A product with no special storage requirements and a standard 2-year shelf life has not solved the stability problem. It has ignored it. These are not trick questions. They are the minimum threshold for evaluating whether what you're paying for is real. Now, here's where Lazuk aesthetics fits into this conversation. At our spa in Alpharetta, exosome application is integrated into post-microneedling protocols as a deliberate clinical decision, not a menu item, not an upsell, a sequenced biological strategy. The procedure creates the access. The exosomes deliver the signal at the exact moment the tissue is most receptive. Source is documented. Concentration is clinical grade. Sterility is verified. Because here's the truth about any regenerative treatment. The science matters, but the protocol matters more. Same exosomes, completely different outcomes depending on when they're applied, at what concentration, to what kind of tissue, in what condition. That's where clinical experience shows up. That's where results actually change. And that's why some people say, I tried exosomes and nothing happened, when really, the application just wasn't designed around the biology. Big difference. Now you might be wondering, is this right for me? Let's think through it practically. If you are someone who has been doing microneedling and you want to genuinely maximize what each session produces, exosome application in the post-procedure window is a rational, evidence-based enhancement. You are already creating the repair state. Exosomes amplify what your skin is already trying to do. If you are interested in the topical category for home use, approach it with appropriate expectations. Source transparency and concentration disclosure are your minimum evaluation criteria. A product that cannot tell you where its exosomes came from or how many are in the bottle is a product you cannot meaningfully assess. And if you are primarily chasing the result you saw on someone's TikTok, understand that what you saw was likely a post-procedure outcome on a controlled clinical timeline. That result came from access plus the right signal at the right moment, not from a serum applied over a bathroom sink. The biology is honest. It just requires context. Here's the simple version. A conventional skincare ingredient works on your cells from the outside. Exosomes work from the inside out. Post-procedure on open skin. The evidence supports them clearly. On intact skin in a consumer product, the quality of what you're buying determines everything, and the right provider will be able to tell you the difference and build a protocol around what the science actually supports. That's the shift. Not from skepticism to hype, from confusion to clarity. And once that clicks, the conversation changes entirely. If you are in or around Alpharetta, Georgia, and you're curious about what a post-microneedling exosome protocol would actually look like for your skin, there is a straightforward next step, a complimentary evaluation where your skin is assessed properly. No guessing, no pressure, just clarity on what would actually work for you and why. You can find that at skindoctor.ai. Free means free, no hidden anything, no awkward conversations, just information, so you can make the decision that makes sense for your skin. Thank you for taking the time to go through this. And the next time someone tells you exosomes change their skin, you'll know exactly what questions to ask. Lazuk Aesthetics, Alpharetta, Georgia.